Okay, well, let's see here. Let's get ready to roll. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our Real Estate Backstory. My name is Alan Richard. I'm the managing broker at Maxwell Realty and Realtor Partners. Every Monday morning, about 9 o'clock, we start off with the Real Estate Backstory. That's kind of where we expose kind of the soft underbelly of the real estate world. This week, we are joined by Miss Carrie Smith, and she's with Choice Home Warranties, and she's going to be with us for just a few minutes this morning. Now, one thing that we do every week is we have a ton of continuing education, and it's very, very important to us. So, like, we have on Tuesday, there's how to leverage, how to be lender ready and leverage business credit. Ming, my partner and wife, will be here in just a moment, is teaching code ethics on Wednesday. And on Thursday, Miss Carrie is going to be teaching about home warranty fundamentals, which is, and we really appreciate you doing that. Could you give us a little bit of a kind of an abridged version? I know that it's not really fair to like, hey, can you shove 3-hour class into a few minutes here? But give us a quick rundown of like what are you going to be talking about, and why should we care about home warranties right now when it's such a massive seller's market and no one needs to, and everyone feels like they can sell a house with no problem at all? So,
well, I will try to cram this into a nutshell, but thank you so much for having me. It's quite the honor to be in front of you guys and see you face to face. But yes, I am teaching a class that is GREC approved, a 3-hour CE class. Good morning, 10 to 1. I can resend the registration link so you can attend, but it is a non-branded. A lot of people think, oh, I got to listen to Carrie for 3 hours talk about Choice Home Warranty, and that's not what it's about. It's about the home warranty industry as a whole. Transitioning from being a realtor myself into home warranty, there's a lot of stuff that I learned coming on this side of the fence that I didn't know when I was an agent. So that's what I incorporate into my class. The information that's important for the agents who are representing both the sellers and the buyers, what they're negotiating, setting the right expectations in a generic information way. It encompasses all the home warranties and home service agreement industry as a whole. So we talk about anything from sellers coverage, buyers coverage, claims, and what those look like. And then giving some interesting stories about claims that I've been through over the past 7 years with things to keep an eye out for as you're previewing homes, as you're showing homes, as you're listing homes, how you're negotiating the home warranty in your contracts, if they are getting negotiated in the contracts or amendments. But, what are you saying to your clients? Are you the agent that is saying, oh, everything's covered under home warranties? Or do you kind of take the back seat with allowing your clients to do the shopping around for them? So that's kind of a nutshell version of what I talk about. And I will say I use my hands a lot, and I try to keep it as funny and as possible because it is Zoom. And as we all knew, Zoom is, I think everybody's zoomed out right now, but yeah. I do try to keep it interesting. But that's about what the class is about. So I hope that I see a lot of faces pop on board. Thursday, we have a good turnout so far, but I welcome everybody with open arms to join that class. And even if you don't want to stay for the 3 hours, which you do to have to get the 3-hour free.
You'll be there for all three, yeah.
But if you can't, and you're just kind of curious as to popping on and listening for a little bit, I welcome those folks with open arms as well, too.
Quick question. So, we are in this huge seller's market right now. What has that really done to the home warranty business? Because for us, home warranties is one of those things that we've always done our best to include, because I can't always be there for everything from my client after the sale. But a home warranty was one of those things that we were always able to do. And we've seen where now with this really aggressive sellers market, a lot of our sellers are saying no, and the buyers are just trying to make the contracts as clean as they can. And we're seeing a lot of, so has this made an impact on home warranties?
I'd be lying to say no, it hasn't, but yes, since probably January of this year is like a light switch went off to where this crazy sellers market started in certain areas. Now I think it's all over the place, but what I'm finding and what I'm observing and what I'm hearing is that, the sellers aren't prepping their homes for market. They're not doing anything for anything with the contract itself. They're staying in the homes after contract. It's, you know, I'm bracing myself to be medicated this year because it's going to be
welcome to our world. Okay.
Very, very interesting. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but how it's affected us is that I have had an increase of buyers contact me either before or after closing, clearly stating the seller's not contributing or purchasing one for them at closing, and can they purchase one at closing or after closing? And of course I say absolutely anytime. Let's get you set up before closing, and just, if you move into the house and you don't want it, we can click a button and say cancel, and nobody's going to get billed for anything, but at least it's in place to where as you're moving into the home and you are wanting it, you can move forward with submitting payment after closing. But anyone at any time can purchase a warranty with choice. What I love about it is that not only do they qualify for a real estate product and pricing after closing, is that we can set them up on monthly payments, so they don't have to pay that big chunk in full. Plus we have multi-discounted pricing as well that they can lock in at a really cheap price for. Here's an interesting conversation that I had almost every day last week, is that the buyers are calling, say the sellers aren't providing a warranty.
Yeah.
They didn't have a home inspection. They waived their due diligence period. That's where I'm cringing, where I'm like,
yeah. Hair in the back of your neck stands up.
We don't require home inspection or certifications prior to closing with any of the systems and appliances. However, knowing what I know on how home warranties work and operate is that all the systems are to be in good, safe working condition at start of coverage, period. And if the buyer doesn't know, or if they didn't have them inspected, they didn't test them, the seller didn't let them in the house for an inspection or even to walk around for that matter, it becomes a buyer beware situation. So if they put the warranty on the house and they have no idea if the air conditioning works because it was 30 degrees out the other day, that's a buyer beware situation. So if they move into the home, they have the home warranty, and 2 days after closing, the AC is not turning on, there's a good chance the warranty's not, they may not cover it.
Well, you can't just use a home warranty to replace all the systems after you buy a house in terrible condition kind of thing. Either. It's not a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, and now we all know that home warranty only cover up to so much, so it's not a free coverage for all.
Yeah.
Well, I wish everybody was like you and had that. But how I'm kind of coaching and advising homeowners who are outside of the transaction purchasing is that, when you move into the property, if the seller's not allowing you to do a final walk through the home, or just get any sort of due diligence in there outside of the contract, as soon as you move in, get a licensed HVAC tech. If that's what your main concern is HVAC coverage, get a licensed tech out there to do a cleaning and just confirming everything is working, or if they need to tweak something small. But if there's a future failure, you have that piece of paper and documentation that it was checked out, it was cleaned, it was serviced. So that is what kind of my conversations look like right now.
Great. Well, Ms. Carey, we sure appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday at the CE class.
Absolutely.
And then Ming's teaching on Wednesday, so she'll be on Zoom there the day before you. So we sure appreciate you very much. And thanks for joining us this morning.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for having me. I look forward to seeing you guys in person. Would you like for me to send the registration link in the chat?
Yeah, please. That'd be great. And then we'll put it on here because this is going on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So we'll put it on there as well. So if you'll put that in there, we'll share that out. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. Have a great day.
All right.
You
Sounds
too.
good.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. All right. Well, folks, again, Ming is teaching on Wednesday also. So Ming is teaching Code of Ethics, our promise of professionalism. So we look forward to seeing you there. We got a lot of things to cover today. Some really, really great information that we'd love to kind of share with you today. So first thing is that, this should have been tax weekend, but it wasn't. Tax day has been moved to May 17th. So you get a little bit more than a month to get your taxes. So we have a tax reprieve at the moment. And so just kind of keep us all on the up and up. So what's happening with housing? So in the past week, in March, so I'll go ahead and share our screen. in March, we shattered 5 U.S. housing records, kind of thing. So, how about that for a good month, kind of thing? So we did. The number of homes for sale fell to an all-time low. Yay! No, it's not really. It's not a good record, kind of thing. The typical home sold for just 25 days, a record low. 42% of homes sold above their list price, which was a record high, and the sale to list price hit 100% ratio for the first time ever. And then to top it all off, we had a record high growth.
Year-over-year comparison may be more
Thank
reflective than the fact that in March 2020, stay-at-home order halt both home buying and selling activities.
Yep. So, I mean, we are going up against the pandemic, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing that. Because if you guys remember what happened last year, everything was on just everyone shoved the brakes on everything last year. So, housing really is kind of on fire, but there's also some really good things going on with housing, and we're going to get into that. So first thing is that we actually saw a dip in mortgage rates this past week again. For 2 weeks in a row, we dropped down to 3.04. Pretty skeptical that it's actually going to go under 3 again, but we'll see, kind of thing. Another new record we have is that purchase applications made up the majority of mortgage applications since December of 2019. We have, refis has really been running the world of mortgages here. And so now purchase applications is ruling the roost. And we're already seeing where a lot of lenders are starting to tool up more on the purchase application side than on the refis. A lot of the lenders who have been just living off the refi boom, that's kind of drying up right now.
Well, a couple of reasons why refi is drying up a little bit is simply because the interest rate for refi is higher than first-time home purchase.
Yeah. All right. Also, speaking of mortgages, forbearance had its largest decline in 6 months, and you can kind of see on the screen here as far as like what, how has forbearance been going, and you can see that one of the reasons that you see on all the total in there, like you'll see all the different lines in there, but you can see that all of them have been trending down. Our total active forbearance plans have all been trending down. Conventional loans forbearance has the lowest percentage. After that, Fannie Freddie, and then FHA VA normally has the highest percentage of forbearance, which is why you tend to pay a little bit higher in interest rates on FHA loans. So jobless claims last week fell to its lowest level since last year, kind of thing, when the pandemic began. We went down to 576,000. I remember when we were over 1 million for months and months and months. So seeing that the unemployment claims dropped to half of that,
it's great.
Really, really great. At the same time, retail sales jumped almost 10% in March over February, which is, and we can't even compare this March versus March of last year as far as retail sales, because it's astronomical. But the fact that we went up 10% from February, that's a big boost, because February was already huge. We had a really good, strong month. Our home builder confidence increased, and you can see that in overall in construction data, everything is really good for our builders, with the exception of labor and materials. So those are still big, they're still having a lot of price challenges, both on labor as well as rising lumber prices. Like Ming's like, hey, take me someplace nice. So we went to the lumber section at Home Depot. It is really, really outrageous out there, kind of thing. But the good news is that single family starts are up about 35%, about around 40% for both permits and starts. New construction's up about 20% over last year, and completions are up about 20%. So this is a really good time right now for our builders, and we want them to do that. You're going to see that right now housing supply is at its all-time low, but that really is, we're starting to see a sudden uptick in inventory. And even according to Realtor.com, we have 36% more listings during the week of April 10th than compared to the same time last year. So our listing supply is finally starting to improve. Now, NAR has also done some really cool studies and found that for our sellers, the best time to list their property
It's
for
this
the
week.
entire year
It's
this week. Okay. And this is a great, and basically what they went back and they looked at supply versus demand versus price increases, time of year, the whole 9 yards, and came up and said, this is the absolute best time to list your property is in this week and this whole month. And so we're moving into our spring/summer buying season. This is a great time to list. If you're wanting to hit the top of the market, it's probably going to be right around right now for our sellers. When's the best time to list properties? And this is one of those things that when the information came out, it really did kind of justify or validate what Ming and I have always done. We've always listed our properties midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Homes that are listed on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday sell for about $1,700 more than homes listed on the weekends. And if you think about it, it really carries true, because what happens is agents set up all their showings for the weekend. And if you list your homes on the weekend, they're already out looking at houses. So showings on properties setting up your listings to hit on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the best time. We've always done Wednesday, Thursday personally, and really kind of, and it's worked out really, really great for us. That's kind of been the best time because, most of us, we don't take weekends off. That's when it's our busy time kind of thing. Most of us take Mondays and Fridays off, those kind of things.
Not Mondays.
So, all right.
Might be.
Well, you know what I mean? Yeah, we don't take Mondays off. We're here, obviously. So one of the questions that we hear a lot, and we're seeing a lot both on national news, local chats, Facebook, should our buyers and sellers wait? And is this a bubble? Is this going down? No, it's not, kind of thing. Right now, our contractors need to build over 2 million homes just to meet the current demand. Over 2 million homes. That we're not going to build 2 million homes right away, kind of thing. At the same time, we have lumber shortages. We've used up all of our PVC farms, so now we're having to develop land, and to go from a piece of raw dirt to a developed lot takes about 2 years, kind of thing. On top of that, folks, our biggest buying groups are millennials. And right now, home ownership rates have continued to increase for those people who are both 25 to 29, and also those 30 to 34, who are clearly our millennials. And their population is 9% larger, and they're moving into that first time buyer rate. So, it's one of the largest populations. It's 10% bigger than any other population group we have, and they're all moving into first time buyer range. So unlikely, it's not really nice to say, like, hey, blame millennials, but the millennials are driving this. We are not going down. This is not a bubble. And so if you're telling your clients, you should probably wait, wait for the market to go down,
it's not.
You're going to hurt your clients, kind of thing, because
not only that, the interest rate is, start creeping up, and I project after this year it's going to go back up a little bit more. Right now is the Feds are keeping it down a steady rate to help the economy while it comes back.
But at some point, inflation is going to rear its ugly head. When that happens, the interest rates are going to go up again. Feds will stop buying 10-year treasuries. And when they do that, we're going to see interest rates go up. So this idea of, hey, we're just going to wait out the market is not a great idea. Okay. And so, we want our folks to understand that now is a great time still to buy. It's also a really great time to sell. So like we said, the U.S. total in the U.S. is 3.8 million homes that are in a deficit. And basically, Freddie Mac's chief economist said, this is what happens when you underbuild for 10 years in a row. And that's kind of what we have. And honestly, even though it says 10 years in a row, right before the market crashed in 2008, 2009 was the first time we had met demand, meaning the number of people wanting to buy houses and that was the first time we'd done that for another 10 years. So we're going on almost 18 years of deficit on building, kind of thing. At the same time, demand for second homes has more than doubled since May of 2020. So in the past year, we've seen that folks who want to buy a second home, that demand is up 127% over over a year ago.
And I think a
of.
lot that have to do with COVID, because now they're looking at other area like the mountain, the beaches and stuff like that to spend their time, because they
Yeah.
can't do it socially because a lot of places are closed.
Yep. And then even though coronavirus, overall, worldwide or globally, I guess you'd say, home prices up almost 6% over 2020. So this is turning out not to just be a US phenomenon kind of thing. We're seeing that there are all kinds of areas are seeing price increases, and real estate is driving a lot of economies in a lot of different places right now. So NAR released their home staging survey. They do this every single year. And a couple of things is that I found really unique and interesting about this year's survey is they took into account what's going on with it being a seller's market and all the things going on with that. And even with it being in a seller's market, the majority of our buyers and sellers agents said that staging homes increased the values from 1% to 5%. And nearly 20% of the agents said it increased the home's value by 5 to 10%. And I want you to think about that right now, because what we're seeing is so many of our sellers are like, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm not going to worry, and we see the same thing. We see agents who are now taking, whereas they would have done really great photography before, now we're seeing crappy iPhone camera pictures, and we're seeing lame photography again. We're seeing homes that aren't staged as well, and we're missing on the fact that we can still help net our sellers out 1% to 5%. So if you get your seller 5% more than by helping them stage their home, get great photography, that almost pays for your and the buyer's agent commission. If you get a 6% increase in price because the home is properly staged and has great photography, guess what? Your services for that seller basically you actually paid for yourself, and in some cases more than yourself. So so please don't lose the idea, or don't
lose the focus, honestly.
Right. It's
and not only that, appraisers right now, right now are down, not appraising the home above asking price. So, by staging, it actually helped to increase the price versus a home that is as is.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. All right. Now, a couple of things that we want to kind of bring to the forefront. So the first thing is that NAR kind of gut punched Zillow this past week. And while I okay,
stop.
Sorry. So let's kind of set the stage. So Zillow bought Showing Time, and it kind of threw, especially the realtor community, it got a lot of people really agitated, because we all remember all the things from Zillow. I remember when Zillow wasn't going to be a brokerage, when Zillow wasn't going to compete, when Zillow wasn't going to have agents, and in every single instance they lied about it, kind of thing. And so Zillow bought Showing Time, and now everyone's going, are they going to be taking our data again and then using it against us? Well, NAR has owned a system called CentriLock for like years, 15, 20 years. I mean, for forever, they've owned CentriLock. But they just rolled out a brand new service, very like Showing Time. Now, here's our challenge in the Atlanta market. Here in the Atlanta market, we, what was it, 7-8 years ago, something like that, we all switched over to our lock systems was eKey. And so CentriLock is basically like eKey, but now they have a new showing process. Right. And so we're very hopeful, and what we love to see our local MLSs start rolling out the CentriLock showing system as a competitor to Showing Time. So as you are interacting with our MLSs, when you go into these trade shows, trade organizations, we're doing the same thing. We'd love to kind of keep Zillow in check, and I'd love to be able to have something that is realtor owned product that is supporting realtors much more so than having to rely and
a third party, basically.
I'm not trying to knock Showing Time. I think Showing Time does a really phenomenal job, but I do I am concerned about Zillow. And
if you think about it, Zillow basically take our data and resell it back to us for a fee.
And at the same
So,
time, they're
you
now they're in
know,
the iBuying business. So, they want to change the way people buy and sell homes. They don't want people to buy and sell homes with them. And so if they want to compete with me, I'm totally fine with competing right back with them. At the same time, we have a new player. Well, maybe not a new player, but CoStar is also in the market right now. When I say in the market, they've been in the market, but CoStar is a big player. CoStar is one of those companies that scares Zillow, which excites me to no end. But CoStar bought homes.com this past week. Now, they won't make the purchase finalized for another 3 or 4 months. So we don't see a lot of changes there, but we are going to start. But this is a company with a lot of money, and CoStar has been setting up to move heavily into the residential market. Here's what's different about CoStar and homes.com. They're looking to move into, now I'm sure there's going to be fees associated. They're here to make money the same as anybody else will. But the idea is that CoStar is not looking to come into the market and take that data and then try and sell it to other agents. They want to help agents market. Now I'm sure there's going to be a cost involved, the whole 9 yards there. But you got to understand that CoStar is a big player, and we finally got someone that can kind of snub their thumb in Zillow's face when it comes to that, because CoStar owns CoStar.com, LoopNet.com, Buy Biz Sell, which is the business selling, because on a lot of commercial properties you buy a business when you buy the commercial real estate as well. Lands of America, Homes.com, HomeSnap, and Apartments.com. So they are moving heavily into the residential sector. You may not see them in our space right now. Expect to see them much more prevalent in our space in the years coming up. So we want to talk very quickly about, with this crazy market we have going on, it's a big seller's market. What happens when the sellers default? And we're seeing this happen, unfortunately, up to the past few months. We saw sellers default so rarely that it was almost a non-issue. And as a matter of fact, we even had to go back and look back up. And I do encourage you, if you have a seller that defaults and your buyer wants to move forward, please contact Doug Dean with Schaefer's and Dean. They've got their act together about how this whole process goes together. And a lot of this is really attributable to him and his information. So I want to give that shout out right there. But basically, whether you're a GAR or an RE form, if a seller defaults and you're representing the buyer, in the past it was kind of like, well, there's nothing you can do, and there are some remedies out there. But let me back up first. We're not lawyers, okay? We're brokers, all right? And I'm not trying to fill an attorney's need or space. I'm just trying to go over the information.
What the rights your client has if it does become a situation or issue. So the buyer can actually ask for specific performance if the seller cancel for no reason at all, okay? If it's due to a clouded title and stuff like that, understandably, they can cancel, Yeah,
but what we're really seeing is that they get a backup offer in that's
$10,000,
$20,000 more, and they just cancel and try and do it. What do your sellers do? I mean, what does your buyer do?
Well, the buyer needs to contact an attorney. They have to pay for the attorney fee when they want to exercise their right of specific performance.
Right.
Okay. So what that means is that the buyer needs to hire an attorney, and they got to file a list pendant, basically.
No, actually, there's another step first, and so that's what. Yep. So first, the buyer does get attorney. That attorney will file a notice of settlement, which sounds like you're settling, but you're not. Okay. And what a notice of settlement does is basically it clouds the title. It makes where that seller can't go and sell that house. If they try and go and sell that house, that the closing attorney is going to be like, we can't. We have an item on the title attached to the title, and so here's your deal. It lasts for 30 days, and it allows for one renewal period. So you got 60 days to work this out, because what the courts would really rather you do is just kind of work this thing out amongst yourselves, kind of thing. Now, most of the time your attorney, you'll hire that attorney, and then the attorney will immediately file that notice of settlement. That stops the seller from being able to sell their house again.
Correct.
Because once you're in a legal binding contract, you have, or your clients have, a vested interest in that property, kind of thing. And so at that point, your buyers have what's called equitable interest, and it's good for, like I said, it's good for 30 days and one renewal. After that, the attorney can file a lis pendens. And again, we're getting into legal terms. It's not my area of specialty, but that's part of the suit for specific performance. At that point, it goes to the judge, and then the judge gets to decide, kind of thing.
All right. While your client's exercising this option, just know the earnest money is in escrow.
Yep.
Okay. They can't move the earnest money and file a lawsuit same time.
Yep. It all has to stay all together at the same time. Also, you'll sometimes hear sellers and buyers be like, well, I'm going to sue for damages. Guess what?
No damages.
Damages are not addressed in GAR or RE. In both of them, it says that the earnest money is
the only remedy for punitive damage.
Yep. So now we all know that anybody can sue anybody for anything. So I'm not saying that your buyers or your sellers couldn't do that. I'm just saying that they can't do that and then use the GAR or the RE contracts as a battering ram to make the other, or to file a suit, because it won't help them on that on that point, kind of thing. So again, if you need an attorney, please use an attorney. We are not lawyers. I don't recommend that you are out espousing legal information if you're not qualified to do that, but we do need to understand what the process is, and that's why we wanted to kind of talk about what that does and how that moves forward. I want to talk about a couple of lead generation ideas that we have that we'd really like to share with you. This past week, we got some new information about how Google searches are going in this challenging low inventory market. So our consumers are out there Googling
phrases like, how much over asking price should I make an offer on a home in 2021? So that's actually one of the questions.
Can I afford to buy a house in 2021? What's the process for buying? So if you've got buyers out there Googling these things, would these not be amazing things to be posting onto your social media? Could we not be taking a few minutes and nearly all of our offices have video areas set up in them. Could we not be going in and recording videos and sharing them to our social media, to our Instagram, to our Facebook, the whole 9 yards, and really espousing these same ideas? And now you're being ahead of the game right there, because we know that we have clients out there searching and asking these questions. They should be asking these questions to us. So we need to make sure that we're really presenting those out there to them as well. And then I want to share, kind of to wrap up today, I want to share the idea of doing video CMAs. Now, what a video CMA is first of all, it's about a video CMA. Let me first share what it's not. It's not this mass marketing, send this to everybody kind of idea. No. So there's one agent, and last time they did it, they sent 72 unsolicited video CMAs, but they sent them to either people that they were told or they knew were interested in selling within the next year. They reached out to their past clients and anyone that they had sold a home to, or any homeowners that they met in the local area that through just their normal marketing. So this is sphere of influence. This is not cold calls, that kind of stuff. And out of that, what they did was every single day for 5 days a week, they produced one video CMA. Out of that one video CMA every day, they did 72. Out of that, they ended up listing $11 million worth of listings out of that over a 3-month period. Now, who here wouldn't love to have
$11 million worth of listings?
I mean, it worked out to about 25 listings out of there in 3 months.
So 30% return, that's pretty good.
It's a phenomenal return. but what I want you to understand is that this is not a get rich quick. This is something that really has some legs to it, and it has a great opportunity for us to do it. We have, we got a couple agents that have just started doing this with very good results, and I wanted to kind of share it with you because this is right now. We know our sellers are interested in selling. It's a great time to sell. The market's at its peak. How do you do a video CMA? Because in the past, the way most of us either did a CMA and emailed it off, or we did a CMA and we met, we sit at the kitchen table and go over it. And so now, the whole idea here with a video CMA is that, first of all, you have to have some sort of a platform. Now, for us, we've always used BombBomb. We love BombBomb, but you could do the same thing through any of the video platforms. Like we're on Zoom right here. You can record your Zoom session the same way and share your screen. So, but before you actually, start to do the CMA, you got to prep. So first thing you got to do is you want to go in. You want to open up either Google Earth or Google Maps and pull up the homeowner's property.
Right.
You want to pull your comps, your own data, pull the MLS, all your comparable homes, all your comparable listings, and then you want to prepare a seller's net sheet. So once you do that, then you fire up your Zoom or your BombBomb or whatever you want kind of thing. And you kind of zoom in on their house. Here's your house, da da da. Now, and you kind of open up and say, listen, I know that I've never been, or maybe I haven't been to your house in a long time, but the script is kind of like, you might be surprised just how high your home's value is right now. So I wanted to give you an updated range of what your home's value and what a buyer in today's market is willing to spend on your home. And so, that's kind of how you start the whole conversation. And then you open up and you zoom in on their house.
Comparables.
And then you pull up, the next thing is you pull up your list and you say, look, I pulled a whole list of all the houses from our local MLS that are comparable to your property and that have sold or that are active or under contract in the last 3 months. And I've narrowed this down to 3 or 4 homes that I feel are very, very similar to your property in our current market kind of thing. So, and then, now I haven't been inside your house, but and then you go through those properties and you show them where the values are. You let the numbers speak for themselves right now. And you show, this house was just, next door to you, just sold for blah, 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 blah. And this one over here was sold for this one. And you can see how this home looks very, very similar to yours. I'm just, I could be within 5% on these values. But, I with a 5-minute walkthrough on your house, I can validate where we really stand on these. So if you'd like for me to come swing by the house, I'll be glad to do that. I can do this afternoon or tomorrow kind of thing. And then where you go to is you go to your seller's net sheet. And then you want to kind of either fill it out online or just have it pre-filled out. And you want to go through and explain what are their true costs? What should they expect? Include your commissions, because when you talk about commissions on the front end, that's a really big win. A lot of times we treat commissions like it's the elephant in the room, like we just don't talk about it kind of thing. But when you explain, this is 3% to the buyer's agent, this is 3% from me, or 4, or whatever your commission rates are. There's no price fixing here in Georgia. So whatever your commission rates are, and then this is what are you going to offer a home warranty? We talked about that earlier today. Right. What is their estimated payoff? You can pull up and see what their mortgage rates are or mortgage amounts originally were, that kind of thing, and go through and try and work out a full, an entire net to seller that's really pretty accurate, and then send this to them. I mean, if you think about how many, have any of y'all gotten a video CMA like this? What if an agent took this amount of time and went through and spent 5 or 10 minutes on video and showed all this data to you and then emailed it to you? I mean, what would you think about this? This is someone who really knows what's going on. Now, you didn't have to go visit the home. You didn't have to really, you sat on your computer, and all you do is knock one of these out every day. And we've seen where these numbers are really playing out to be realistic, because so many of our sellers are on the fence right now. Right. They don't know, they don't have the same market net value. They know that it's a good time to sell. They think it's a good time to sell. They've heard the market's good, but they haven't really thought about it. Now all of a sudden you take and you make it real, because now this is reality for them. You're taking this home for them. And so this is, and right now we need listings. I hear all the time, hey, I need listings. Hey, I need listings. So we're giving, this is the gimme here, folks. So jump on this because it works really, really well.
So this is a little tip for lead generation from Alan, and something new. And of course, with video being so dominant right now, you know, people like to see your face when you're presenting something.
Yeah.
So try that and see if it works. I can tell you the return rate based on the data that's been pulled is about 30%, which is pretty good.
Phenomenal.
So if you guys are looking at sweat equity, and I know Alan said 5-6 minutes on video, you and I both know it's going to take you about an hour to get the data updated.
Well, yeah,
but,
I mean, the process, there is a little bit more time involved. I mean, the video is only about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes, and you don't want to make a video more than that, because after that you'll lose the buyers, the seller's interest.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying, and that's the reason why I say, if you could just do one of these a day, if you could build this into your routine where every day you start off and you do a video CMA for one of your clients every single day. This is not something where you're going to knock out 90 of these things in a row, or else you're going to just drive yourself right up the wall kind of thing. This is something where you need to be doing this every day, reaching out into your database, working your sphere. 80% of agents get 80% of their business from people they know and people that know them.
Absolutely.
So we got, and this is a great way to bring this thing home for them kind of thing. So if you need us, we are around. If you need some me time, you can meet us at max1.rock/chat right after Backstory. We're always right there. And if you need anything, please reach out to us there. You can also always hit us up on support, call, text, smoke signals. We answer it all.
Thank you, and have a fabulous Monday.
Bye.